Now, it's been a very dramatic weekend at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Up until the Saudi Grand Prix, everyone felt Verstappen could have another dominant season. But ever since the Australian Grand Prix, we've had 7 different winners, including Max, of course. The latest is McLaren's Oscar Piastri. Now, given how Piastri and McLaren were performing, that was bound to happen. But the real story wasn't McLaren finishing first and second in Hungary. The biggest talking point, of course, coming out of the race was Mercedes' Lewis Hamilton. Not because he finished third, but because of his collision with Max Verstappen. The battle isn't a verbal one. During the race, Verstappen and Hamilton's cars came into contact. Verstappen's car went into the air before hitting the tracks. This brush with Hamilton not only cost Verstappen a spot on the podium, but he finished 5th. The Red Bull driver was furious and was heard accusing his team on the radio. And the lashing out wasn't just restricted to his teammates. He also blamed Hamilton for the crash.
I went for a move that was on, but in the middle of the braking zone, when I'm committed to the move, he just keeps moving right. If I hadn't turned while braking straight, I would have made contact with him. You cannot do that when someone has committed to the inside.
Many are, of course, divided on the matter. Hamilton's longtime rival, Nico Rosberg, said Verstappen deserved a penalty for this clash. Imagine Rosberg taking Hamilton's side. He probably did not do that even during the time they were together on the same team. It doesn't matter, though, who on the outside felt what, because eventually the authorities didn't find Verstappen guilty and no penalty was imposed on the driver. But the matter didn't end here, because Hamilton had much to say in response too, quite obviously.
I left enough room in the inside, but Max locked up, and he was going a different trajectory to me. I was going towards around the corner, and he came shooting across. It felt like a racing incident, and it's easy to make mistakes like that. And so, I don't feel there should be any hostility. But of course, from his side, there always will be.
It finally feels like this is the Formula One season we were hoping for, because if a season goes on without these two at loggerheads, is it even an F1 season? Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton have been at each other's throats for some years now, and this time, though, the rivalry is intense because Hamilton is making up for all the times he slipped up. With the comeback win at the British Grand Prix and the tumble at the Hungarian Grand Prix, the old Verstappen-Hamilton rivalry is truly back. But the Hamilton-Verstappen feud wasn't the only talking point of the race. Verstappen's verbal altercation with his team sparked even more controversy. Verstappen during the race described the team's strategy as under par, and it was a two-way war of words. One of the Red Bull engineers, Gianpiero Lambiase, at one point called his driver childish. This after Verstappen argued his case following the Hamilton collision. And that was the kind of hostility in the Red Bull team right after the race. Sure, Hamilton's collision did not go down too well, understandably, and this conversation between the team and the driver only showed the chaos that was raging on in the Red Bull team. And how ironical to watch this play out, as contrastingly, McLaren was setting an example of the most cordial, selfless team dynamics on the track. Lando Norris was in the lead and it was the final lap of the race, but McLaren insisted that Norris let Oscar Piastri win. While Norris was hesitant at first, he respected the team's decision and let Piastri overtake and win the race. Now, this way, the Australian driver won his first Grand Prix, and McLaren aims for the Constructors' Championship now. Now, such an incident only brings the disagreements in Red Bull between the team and its driver into sharper focus. And this is not the first time we're seeing discord in the Red Bull side out in the open. Just some weeks ago, the team principal Christian Horner saga almost tore the team apart, threatened to derail their fortunes and their campaign this year. After Horner was accused of misconduct by a female employee, Verstappen's father, Jos, even claimed Horner will burn down Red Bull. But Verstappen continued his support towards the team principal and kept the peace. That peace, of course, has lasted till Verstappen was winning. This race and the collision has split the team wide open, and maybe this is just the start of this disharmony to continue, because the season has only reached its halfway mark. 13 of 24 races have been done. Hamilton is getting back on podiums. Verstappen and Hamilton back to behaving like arch rivals, as the results are showing. And Ferrari and McLaren are giving Red Bull a hard time. So safe to say that it's business as usual now, and the season has finally caught fire. And the Hungarian Grand Prix seems to have lit up that spark.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment.
So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
On this today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies. What can we expect